Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today's plant-based character is ju. It's a flower, chrysanthemum. I have to say I grew up with lots of chrysanthemum in my life as environmental decoration, like a part of the landscape to decorate the streets, or like family pot plant use lots of chrysanthemum. But chrysanthemum do have a connection with funeral. So when it's somebody's a funeral, normally that's the default flower to decorate the room. Even if chrysanthemum is a bright color, supposed to be uplifting. So I guess that's why it's used in funeral, because it's so uplifting. Okay, so the component of ju is made of the plant symbol, double it, means a cluster of those sun-facing upward growing blades that came from grass look like. And then the middle, okay, it's news for me. I just learned that. I know the middle part of it means rice. And this rice symbol comes from, there's 4 grains, each of the grain in this quadrant. Okay, this cross symbol has nothing to do with cross in Chinese. It simply means a classification of rice, because rice was a major economic crop in China back then, probably still today, and it was part of the form of for farmers to pay tax. So you get a percentage of your crop submitted to the government. That's the tax form instead of currency, right? So that's kind of an ancient currency, almost like. So it's important to correctly classify the grade of your rice. So this quadrant is simply kind of box things up into its own category, and each of them represent a different grain of rice in that category. So that's our rice image, because it's highly classified. Okay, and then this big question mark with a chimney on the top. That actually means surrounding. So surrounding with the rice symbol in the middle, surround the rice. How to understand that? So scholars, this is not me. So scholars say this actually means you hold up like a scoop of rice, do this cup thing, and have rice in between. You have to use 2 hands to form a big enough cup to cup hold the rice like that. So that's rice cup holding, and eventually it's not just rice anymore, right? So it's whenever you want to scoop something with both hands, form a scoop. That's the action word for that. Eventually, this character don't get used alone on its own anymore. So when we express to scoop things with both hands, we actually add a hand symbol to the left of it to mean it's an action from the hand. So that's get more explicitly meaning hand motion instead of just buying it by this surrounding rice symbol. It takes a little bit of guesswork there. Okay, so now this scoop action together with a plant symbol, how come it's become chrysanthemum? This is my imagination now, because nobody explained why. And people often say, okay, the top is the category, is the meaning maker, and the bottom is the sound maker. It's simply carry over the sound from that. But after doing this over 4 years, I believe all the sound makers actually are part of the meaning making. And I mean, how are we going to carry the sound? We have to associate somehow with the components from it. So this scooping with plant, how come it becomes chrysanthemum? Here's my theory, my guess. And you can pitch into your guesswork. Okay, so the chrysanthemum, if you look at the flower, the petals are kind of like a pom-pom, right? It's kind of puff in all directions. And it's almost feel like this fullness of the bloom that you can almost scoop with your hand for the whole bloom. So I guess it's used to express the size of the flower almost. That's the size that you have to scoop with both hands instead of not cherry picking, but flower picking, that you can just pinch the flower like that small. But this is like a big bloom. You have to do that. That's my guess. Okay. The expressions involves 秋菊打官司 is a famous movie, probably famous in the early 90s by Zhang Yimou, the same guy who did, wait, what is this famous ones? Gosh, I forgot his most, but okay, he's the guy, I guess, artsy enough, recognized by the imageries on the screen. So it's not just the storytelling, because his storytelling is kind of but his imagery creation is supposedly the top notch among the Chinese movie directors. And he made quite some impressive movies like blockbusters. And this 秋菊打官司 in the early 90s is about this. 秋菊 is a girl's name, means autumn chrysanthemum, because chrysanthemum actually is an autumn seasonal flower in autumn. Like, I guess, actually, many flowers are in spring. So I guess chrysanthemum is kind of off season in that, it's not the majority flowering seasoning, but it's a fall. So 秋菊 is a common girl's name. 打官司 打 we use beat. So actually it shows that you're aggressive. You want to attack. You want to express yourself in a almost like a violence way, right? That's that. That means like do this, pat, or beat. 官司 means legal case. So this talks about a woman from the countryside and doesn't have any political background. And she was seeking justice. And I show you here is just to show this is a common female name adopted among Chinese girls, I guess, Chinese girls' parents. 采菊东篱下. Okay, this is a famous line from a huge collection of Chinese poems. So 采菊东篱下, it's in the textbook. Okay, it's that important that every little kid in China have to memorize it. And 采菊东篱下, the next line is 悠然见南山. It describes this kind of retiree poet writing about his detachment to the commotions or political ambitions or the rat race, however you want to frame it, that he put himself outside of that grinding of every day. Instead, this retiree enjoy life in a form of 采菊, it's kind of scoop. No, it's 采 means a flower. You pick the flower chrysanthemum, 东篱下, on the east side of this fence. And 悠然见南山, when you look up, you can see far away the mountain scene. It in itself is a beautiful, idyllic imagery. And for that kind of release the tension or disappointment of life of that poet. 采菊东篱下. Okay, 爆菊. I couldn't believe I put it in there because this is kind of took me some time, only in the context, because when I grew up in China, I never heard of this expression, and this how 菊 chrysanthemum was used here, and 爆 like an explosive chrysanthemum. Can you guess what that is? Like, why explosive? And explode, this 爆 means again attack, and 菊 actually means somebody's asshole. I cannot believe I pronounced that on YouTube, but this describes anal sex. And it was, I guess, a contemporary net speak that people just use chrysanthemum, probably of the similar look, I don't know, appearance, and then it caught on. And because chrysanthemum is not bad imagery, right? So people keep using that as a euphemism for the term that everybody I have to overcome a little bit of a barrier for me to utter it. But 暴菊, like, it probably doesn't sound as bad, but the violence actually, this 暴 is like explosive energy involved in there. So, okay, I'm not going to do further interpretation, but this is chrysanthemum that we're talking about, and Ju, because of its occurrence in life in China, so it's quite culturally significant as one of the most popular female names in there. Chrysanthemum, Ju. There you go. Thank you for your time. See you another day.